Yes, YouTube, hope that you're good. It's Ben Hawksworth, the Coach Consultant. Today, I'm going to be talking about everything that you need to know and everything that you need to do in order to be hitting figures like 50k per month, 60, 70, 80, 90. If you have aspirations to be earning upwards of £500,000 per year or up to £1 million per year in that bracket, then this is going to be the video for you. And in this video, it's actually going to be a brief introduction to the book that I'm writing in 2025. So the book that I'll be writing in 2025 will basically be encapsulated into the balance between 50% human and 50% machine. And that is the concept that I'm actually going to talk about in this video, and in terms of everything that you need to know and everything that you need to do and have and be as a human being, alongside what you need in terms of the actual systems and the machine to hit those type of figures. But also not those type of figures where you hate your job, where you are burnt out, when you are overwhelmed. These are going to be the core foundational structures that we need to make sure that we have in place in order to be able to push on and get to those type of figures per year, guys. So really excited to talk about it, and hopefully you'll start to see the vision that I have for this book that I'm going to be creating, and I absolutely cannot wait to release it to you all. I'm not going to isolate an exact day yet because it's going to be a long process, but I know exactly what it is. The mainframe's done, the structure's done. All I need to do now is just basically write it. So really looking forward to that one, but for the time being, let's have a taste of it today. 50% human, 50% machine. Right, as a starting point, I think it's really important to understand that it does not matter how many structures, systems, strategies, and standard operating procedures that you have if you are not looking after you as a person, right? And when it comes to you as an actual human, so I've gone back to real first principles with that one, but as a human being and as someone who is aspiring to achieve massive goals in life and to get to incredible positions financially and create financial freedom and everything for the family, we need to have these four fundamental areas in place. So number one is emotional intelligence, and I'm going to do a talking point over every single one of them. So emotional intelligence is going to be absolutely paramount for you throughout this process, because you are going to have to manage clients, you are going to have to manage teams, you are going to have to manage systems, you're going to have to manage people, you're going to have manage content, you're going to have to manage comments. There's going to be so many things that's going to come in and basically disrupt your status quo. So you need to make sure that you've got the emotional intelligence to understand how you feel and how you can actually articulate and respond in that situation. If you do not have control over your emotions, then your emotions will have control over you. And if your emotions start to have control over you, then they're not going to do anything good for your business in any way, shape or form. So we need to stay in control at all times. The second fundamental part of you hitting £500,000 per year and £1 million per year is the fact that you need to actually fucking find this fun. You need to find your business fun. You need to love your offer. You need to love your niche. You need to find it fun when you're actually creating content for these people, because that is going to stop you and hinder you from being creative, from being motivated, from being inspired, from getting up in the morning, going to bed early at night, right? It's the element of fun and fulfillment that is going to keep you going while you are building all of these SSS structures that I'm going to talk about in a second. Moving into that next point, right? Relentless resilience. It's a really important point to make, this one. Even when you have emotional intelligence and you're in control of yourself and you're zen and you know what's what and you know what you're experiencing, you know how to process it, even when you are having loads of double F, so you're having fun, you're having fulfillment, business is still going to be really fucking hard, right? Regardless of whatever, if you want to earn £500,000 per year or £1 million per year in your fitness business, then you are going to have relentless resilience. So I'm going to put a dash between there. So relentless basically is where no matter what comes your way, you are willing to work through it, right? Even if it's gone well, it's gone bad, it's somewhere in between. Relentlessness for me is savage consistency, right? You are absolutely, completely and utterly savage with how consistent you are over the roadblocks, the obstacles, when you're winning, when you're losing. You're relentless, you don't fucking stop. Resilience is the ability to actually be able to take that hit and still keep moving forwards. So you are resilient when someone comes to you with a negative comment. You are resilient when you've tried something and it doesn't work. Resilience for me is your ability to actually work through failure. And look at my other video on that where I've said about failure is more about just attempts that have not gone right. Change your perspective on it. Resilience for me is really heavily about how hard can you get hit and still keep moving forwards like Rocky Balboa shit, yeah? The final one is inspiration and motivation, right? Inspiration and motivation is very, very different to fun and fulfillment. Fun and fulfillment is stuff in your life that you are looking forward to actually doing. It gives you the rationale and reason to keep turning up each day. So I've spoken about this previously where my goals like Everest, that's fun, right? For example, but it's also not going to be great in terms of stress management, physically, on my business, on myself and everything else, but it's still fun, right? For me, Everest is inspiring and motivating, right? That falls into that category. Fun for me is making sure that I can actually work to go on whatever holidays that I want, to be able to go to Michelin star restaurants, to be able to drive the car that I want to drive, right? That's the fun part of business. Inspiration and motivation is that one thing where you are working towards. That's your North Star, where you know exactly what life you want from this business. It's not about what the business is going to be and the brand. It's about what life you want from it and who you want to be as part of it. When we start moving over onto the right-hand side, we've basically got structures, right? We've then got systems, we've got strategies, and we've got standard operating procedures. These are 4 different areas, right? These are not the same, right? Because people often think that a system is a strategy, and a strategy is a system, and a structure is an SOP. A structure is basically the foundations in which something is built. So a structure would be basically your business model. So a structure would be the difference between a high-ticket coaching business, an app group coaching model, a community model, right? Structure would be how you've actually put your organizational structure together, right? So actually the structure of your team. It's not about what they're doing, not about how they're doing it, not the process. It's just literally what it is. The structure is so important to make sure that you've actually got a scalable business model what can hit those type of figures. So for example, if you are a single online coach who's trying to earn £500,000 per year or £1 million per year, you're going to struggle because you don't have the structure in place to actually get there. The next one is systems. So for me, it's more important to have the system in place than it is the actual strategy itself. So best way I could describe this is I have a content production system and I have a daily email system, right? If I didn't have my content production system, I could not release my strategies. If I did not have my daily email system, I could not release my daily emails, right? So when you look at it from that side, the system is basically how scalable it is and how you can actually manage and maintain that so it starts and it doesn't stop. So for example, when it comes to YouTube, I've got a system for that. So with a team and to support me with it. When it comes to emails, I've got an Excel sheet, what's got a step-by-step system, which includes what people go into it and basically what people need to do and when they do it. I've also got standard operating procedures, which I'll talk about in a second. But this system is basically the management format that allows you to do what you need to do, basically. The next thing is the strategy, right? The strategy would be what I am talking about in a YouTube video. It would be what I am talking about in my email and my subject line. It would be what I'm talking about and what I'm creating when it comes to social media. The structure is what I'm doing in terms of my business overall. The system is how I basically manage that to allow it to scale. And then the strategy is directly what I am doing in order to basically see growth, see progression, and see improvement in that point. The standard operating procedure is the exact gold standard format in which way something is done. So for example, if you've got a setter, if you've got a closer, right, this is a standard operating procedure and exactly how you run that setting. This is a standard operating procedure and exactly how you run closing. This is a standard operating procedure on how you exactly run that check-in. That's a standard operating procedure on how you exactly manage that team and do that performance review. That's the level of detail that you need to go into in order to scale. So if we start looking back and let's just flip the perspective on this, I'm going to do the reverse and I'm going to talk about the negative implications of not doing all of this, right? If you basically don't have, so let's just say you don't have emotional intelligence, you will be incredibly reactive and you will have resentment towards everything that you are doing. You won't have fun, you won't be resistant, you won't be inspired. You won't be able to create the right type of structures. You won't be able to put systems together. You won't be able to release creative strategies. So just from not controlling your emotions, everything falls to pieces. The next one, fun and fulfillment. You may have everything going, structures going well, systems, strategies, SOPs, you're earning shitloads of money, right? But you're not having fun and you're not fulfilled. Right? That's going to lead to burnout, that's going to lead to resistance, that's going to lead to resentment, and you're going to start hating what you do. I know that because I've worked with people who are earning 7 figures per year and they are at a point where they're like, I don't know how long I can keep doing this for. If you don't find it fun and you ain't got fulfillment, you can't scale. Right? Simple as that. Next up, you've got Relentless resilience, right? If you think that business is going to be a straightforward process of taking that next step, and there's going to be no obstacles in the way at all, then you're going to get a massive surprise really quickly, right? It's not like you're living at home with your mum and dad and everyone's just doing everything for you. Like when you move into your own house, you got to do your washing, you got to do your pots, you're going to leave a mess. It's going to become chaos really quickly, like just as an easy analogy. Inspiration and motivation, right? In order for you to earn £1 million per year, you need to be inspired and motivated in order to hit those kind of marks, which is not just about money. It needs to be something much bigger. So like I've spoke to you about Everest. Structures, right? You might have the best system, the best strategy and the best SOP, but your business model is fucked and it's not got scalability, or your organizational structure is fucked, so it's not got scalability and it's not got good management. From that point, you might have all these things which are all kicking off. You might have an incredible strategy and incredible SOPs, but you don't have a management system in place what actually allows you to be able to maintain that system, so it falls down. So your strategy can't be released and your SOP can't be basically used. Finally, from that point, obviously, if you don't have a strategy, you might have everything else in place, but if you don't have creativity to your marketing and creativity to your offer and your content and your sales and your lead magnets, then your strategy is going to be the fall down, and that is where you're not going to get downloads, you're not going to get leads, you're not going to get retention and everything else, guys. So that's why I'm writing a book on the 50-50 rule. Every single thing within business is fundamentally structured between both of those two variables, guys. So if you are looking at your company right now and you're thinking, I want to earn those type of figures per year and I want to be in 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 grams per month, you need to tick those boxes: emotional intelligence, fun and fulfillment, relentless resilience, inspiration and motivation, structure, system, strategy, and SOPs. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, drop it a comment or drop it a like. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe. If you want to find out about what we do at the Coach Consultant or what I do with my consultancy, just hit the link somewhere around my bio. See you next time.